SLPP national organizer Namal Rajapaksa has launched a scathing attack on the government, accusing it of politicizing the National Youth Services Council, NYSC, and stifling independent youth activism across the country. The criticism comes in the wake of the recent arrest of a prominent district youth leader. In a strongly worded statement posted on his official X, formerly Twitter account, Rajapaksa condemned the arrest of Samantha Pereira, the former chairman of the Gampa District Youth Federation. Pereira was reportedly detained for voicing opposition to the government's alleged interference in the NYSC's operations. The arrest of Samantha Pereira is a blatant act of oppression and a direct assault on the freedom of expression that our youth should enjoy, Rajapaksa declared. This government's attempt to exert control over the National Youth Services Council is not just misguided, it is a devastating blow to the aspirations and potential of our nation's young population. The SLPP national organizer went on to emphasize that the incident represents more than just an isolated case of injustice. What we're witnessing here is not merely an attack on one individual, he stated. It's a calculated assault on independent youth leadership throughout Sri Lanka. The government's actions threaten to undermine the very foundations of civic engagement and democratic participation among our younger generation. Rajapaksa's comments reflect growing concern among opposition figures and civil society organizations about the government's approach to youth-focused institutions. The NYSC, established to empower and support young Sri Lankans, has long been viewed as a crucial platform for nurturing future leaders and fostering civic responsibility. For decades, the National Youth Services Council has played a vital role in shaping the character and capabilities of our youth, Rajapaksa explained. By attempting to politicize this institution, the government is not only betraying its mandate, but also jeopardizing the future of countless young Sri Lankans who rely on the NYSC for guidance, support, and opportunities. The SLPP national organizer called on the government to immediately cease what he described as unwarranted interference in civil society and youth organizations. We strongly urge the authorities to step back and allow these institutions operate independently, he said. The preservation of democracy and the maintenance of a fair and just system depend on the autonomy of bodies like the NYSC. Rajapaksa's statement has resonated with many young activists and opposition supporters who view the government's actions as part of a broader pattern of suppressing dissent and consolidating power. Social media platforms have been flooded with messages of support for Samantha Pereira and calls for the government to respect the independence of youth organizations. The youth of Sri Lanka are not pawns to be manipulated for political gain, Rajapaksa asserted. They are the lifeblood of our nation, the architects of our future. Any attempt to stifle their voices or limit their freedoms is an attack on the very essence of our democracy. The controversy surrounding the NYSC comes at a time when Sri Lanka is grappling with numerous challenges, including economic instability and political uncertainty. Critics argue that the government's focus on controlling youth institutions is misplaced and counterproductive, diverting attention and resources from more pressing national issues. At a time when our country faces unprecedented challenges, we should be empowering our youth, not suppressing them, Rajapaksa pointed out. The energy, creativity, and passion of young Sri Lankans are essential assets in our journey towards national recovery and prosperity. The SLPP national organizer also highlighted the potential long-term consequences of the government's actions. By politicizing the NYSC and other youth-focused organizations, the authorities risk alienating an entire generation of potential leaders, he warned. This short-sighted approach will only serve to weaken our democratic institutions and erode public trust in the long run. Rajapaksa called for a return to the principles of transparency, accountability, and inclusivity in the management of youth affairs. The National Youth Services Council must be allowed to fulfill its mandate without political interference, he insisted. Only then can we ensure that our young people receive the support and opportunities they deserve. The opposition figure also emphasized the importance of fostering a culture of open dialogue and constructive criticism among the youth, We must create an environment where young people feel empowered to voice their opinions and contribute to national discourse without fear of reprisal. Rajapaksa stated, "This is not just a matter of principle. It is essential for the health and vitality of our democracy." As the controversy continues to unfold, many observers are calling for an independent investigation into the circumstances surrounding Samantha Pereira's arrest and the broader allegations of political interference in the NYSC. Civil society organizations have announced plans to hold peaceful demonstrations in support of youth rights and the independence of civic institutions. Rajapaksa concluded his statement with a direct appeal to the government. "We call on the authorities to release Samantha Pereira immediately and to engage in meaningful dialogue with youth leaders and civil society representatives. It is time to put an end to the politicization of our youth institutions and to recommit ourselves to the principles of democratic governance." The coming days are likely to see increased scrutiny of the government's policies towards youth organizations and civil society groups. As the debate intensifies, many are hoping that this controversy will spark a broader conversation about the role of young people in shaping Sri Lanka as future and the importance of preserving independent spaces for youth activism and leadership development.